A crowd of 60,000 are packed into the Buddh phase. The title run-in starts here at Buddh International Circuit. 8 races in 10 weeks. 7 of them are overseas tour. It kicks off here today in India to this 13th round of 20. Pecco Bagnaia, 33 clear of Martin. 69 adrift now is Marco Bezzecchi, who starts from pole position for the 4th time in MotoGP. A rousing recovery for him. It's lights out and we are Grand Prix racing here in MotoGP in India for the first time, and Martin does make the dream start again from the middle of that front row. Bagnaia slots on the inside of Bezzecchi, the pole man as well. Mir got away really strongly. Maverick Vinales going a bit loose. He tried to get on the gas to recover that lost position.
Brad Binder, as always, looking to make his way through from deep on the grid. He is up to 8th place, not the progress he made yesterday.
And he goes for it immediately on the inside of Bagnaia, on the brakes of the turn 30. He's going to run a little bit wide on the exit. Marquez on a lunge as well at Martin. It's all kicking off here on the first lap in India. A memorable first lap led by Bezzecchi. 3 Ducatis, the red clear ahead of him. A sprint 3rd place yesterday. A big helping hand, of course, with Bezzecchi ruled out of contention early on. Joan Mir, that's going to be really close. 1 millimetres, wasn't it, between Mir's front tyre, Martin as well.
So Marc Marquez then doing a solid job, as you say, up behind us. Quartararo now gets it a little bit hot into turn 3, and Joan Mir looking to strike.
He's making a much stronger fist of it row right now, hounding Fabio Quartararo as they snake through the chicane 6 and 7. Attack harder now to the wonderful banked multiple line turns 8 and 9. Device that's on the factory Ducatis of him and Pecco Bagnaia. It was Miller that went really wide.
Out wide, back with the leaders then, and Marco Bezzecchi through the first sector of this lap. His lead is now approaching that 1 second mark. It's 0.9 of a second through the first.
Getting Pecco Bagnaia very quickly.
Where it looks to me that Bagnaia is losing a little bit of time, he's out of those fast right-left sweepers. First of all, through turns 6 and 7, you saw Martin suddenly climbing all over him as they approached turn 8, and then again when they went. I'd love to know what the world champion thought of that one, because Jorge Martin certainly wasn't leaving any quarter there to Pecco Bagnaia on his way through into 2nd place, although it did cost them both 7/10 of a second to Bezzecchi, who's now over 2 seconds up the road. It was a
Marc Marquez then. That leaves Fabio Quartararo in a relatively lonely 4th place now then. So Marquez out of 4th. He has rejoined though.
Tells you how hard Marc Marquez was pushing though, doesn't it, to try and stay with the trio of Ducatis up ahead of him. He was putting it in.
7/10 of a second gift to Marco Bezzecchi.
Oh, Bagnaia so late on the brakes again into turn 4 as he tries to go with Jorge Martin. You mentioned a moment ago that Fabio Quartararo is in quite a lonely 4th place. Well, it's not as lonely as it was. Not so long. Binder is now 6th. He's lapping in the 145s on the KTM. He's just pulled a half a second. Quartararo not quite able to sustain that chase of the Ducatis. He did a 45.9 last time around. He has now slipped over a second behind the Ducatis up ahead of him and riding on board, of course, in the 3rd sector. And in the end, he essentially matched Martin for lap time. So that's another window into how much pace Pecco Bagnaia potentially could still have underneath him, because despite that mistake into turn 4, he quickly zoomed up to the back of the number 89 once.
Top 2 men this weekend, with Pecco Bagnaia not too far behind them in 3rd place, and it is going to script, it is going to form. Just out of your pitch there, you can just see him as a dot on the horizon. That's Marco Bezzecchi, who stretched his lead out now to what is even the sprint yesterday when he had another DNF in the column as we are about to complete lap 9. Bezzecchi has already completed lap 9. He starts
wing in the World Championship battle. Look how hard Jorge Martin is trying to get that Ducati stopped. He somehow throws it at the apex and manages to get that Prima Pramac Ducati turned in, but that will give a little bit of encouragement to Pecco Bagnaia, because
Fernandez so far is our only retirement. We have seen Marc Marquez on the floor at the first corner 3 or 4 laps ago when he was right in that podium battle. He's trying to recover lost positions now after remounting the Repsol Honda. That's him picking up Pol Espargaro. Espargaro's got a problem. Well, he crashed out of yesterday's sprint, and it looks like there's going to be no points on offer for the factory Aprilia team. Aleix Espargaro was circulating in 7th place, just over half a second behind Brad Binder. It's going to be crucial. It's been a good number of laps now, been keeping a close side. The gap between Martin and Bagnaia has been 3 or 4 tenths of a second, and I just wonder whether Bagnaia is mindful of just sitting back a little bit here, just to make sure that he's not overheating. The riders, the bodies and brains that are getting stressed to the maximum here this weekend. It's a mechanically unforgiving circuit as well. 5 kilometres, this Buddh International Circuit. Fabio Quartararo had 2 very public high-profile gearbox failures on the decelerating from a smidgen over 350 kilometres an hour. And Bagnaia now is just biding his time. When will he pick his moment? Because he's got the better edge. Look at the turning of Bagnaia through turn 8 and 9. He's on the inside here.
Easy
and he's picked
Quartararo, who's now behind him in 4th.
Look at this for a move. Then it's multiple lines going through turn 8 and 9. But that was beautifully done. Clinical but clean from the world champion, who could be taking an important
13 by the time that he comes through into second.
Can you believe it? Bagnaia has dropped the ball. The Delhi disaster for Pecco Bagnaia. We're looking ahead to him. Jorge Martin on board. Very much game on the championship. As you mentioned, Bezzecchi will come right back in the hunt. And Jorge Martin, well, you'd have seen that. A front row seat for Bagnaia's blunder. 13 points adrift now in the championship. And Fabio Quartararo now, his hard Ducati garage. They just cannot believe it. They are lost for words. As this World Championship MotoGP, what a pendulum swing that could be. It's had many twists and turns already so far this season. Well, that was another big one, wasn't it? We've still got
team within the Ducati box. We can now see that on screen, and he'll be hoping now that perhaps something happens to Jorge Martin, because you just saw there on screen that World Championship lead is going to shrink. But this is the big battle then in the final 5 laps of the Grand Nail for this 4th place.
Yeah, I'm super happy for Joan Mir, because he's had a real tough time. I think at one point in the early part of his HRC career, jettisoned his chest protector, didn't he, in Barcelona. Just having a quick look here, this is not a given, you know. Jorge Martin, he's going for the leathers. I was just going to say, Quartararo's closing in. Yeah, he's zipped it back up. And that's why Quartararo...
Later on, and Martin needs these points.
I bet Quartararo was looking behind Jorge Martin there and going, yeah, been there, done it, got the T-shirt, mate. I know exactly what's going through your mind here. So Jorge Martin then with 3.5 laps to go. He's got the zip.
Open the leather suit, even if some insect, bee, whatever it is stinging you, you just beat it. Then open your suit so it stops stinging you. It's obviously slidden down for some reason, and the problem is...
Got the zip back into its normal position. We ride on board then with Marco Bezzecchi, who has no idea of the drama that's unfolding behind him, because he has run an Indian Grand Prix all on his lonesome. This tricky braking zone into turn 13, so last lap underway then, and Marco Bezzecchi on course for a hugely significant victory in this year's MotoGP World Championship, with Pecco Bagnaia down and out of that has shrunk by 53 points in the space of a couple of weekends. It just shows how quickly your fortunes can fluctuate, doesn't it, in MotoGP? 13 points will be the gap between Bagnaia and Martin heading to Japan. Into the victory, but it's all now vital World Championship points at stake here for Jorge Martin. One corner remains. You can see Marco Bezzecchi out of the final corner. It's Buddh International Circuit brilliance from Bezzecchi. Martin goes super tiny, too close for comfort around the outside here. Fabio Quartararo's not happy with this one, is he? Some you watch that one. Is Fabio Quartararo's unhappiness justified?
On the outsides.
Ever had a more dramatic Grand Prix than that? 21 laps. I was so surprised he made that mistake. I thought it was going to be at turn number 4, but with a 1.5 second, particularly in those sort of last 5, 6, 7 laps, Johann Zarco, he looks absolutely destroyed. He's had to take his gloves off. He's so hot on the cool down lap.